Didn't really know what happened. I was actually in the change room already, and I was told to go back out. It's a no ball, so quite happy with that. Never had that before in my career, so it was obviously something that I had to deal with very quickly, and I had to obviously face the next ball, which you just had to deal with very quickly. You don't have much time to think about anything else, so yeah, I just had to reset the mind and get on with my third innings, I think it was. Seemingly there was a communication problem between the umpires and the third umpire, and he couldn't. They were struggling to relay the message to the on-field umpires that it's a no ball. Yeah, so Amla didn't know anything, and neither did I. Yeah, it's been a totally different kind of contents kind of tour for myself personally, for the team as well. I do think a lot of things have to boil down to the particular conditions that we've been playing under. I do find this time around in Sri Lanka the wickets have been a lot more challenging for the batters, and I think we've obviously had the tougher of the two kind of conditions. It's not an excuse. By no means. I'm not trying to make an excuse up or anything, but we have been outplayed and outclassed throughout the series, and I'll be man enough to say that Sri Lanka have been better than us in this particular series. But there are still a lot of positives for us in the series, and yeah, we need to take those positives and obviously work as a unit, because not too long from now we've got another test series coming up. I think you got to give yourself a lot of positive thoughts. You got to just tell yourself to just keep batting. Take it a ball at a time. Doesn't help you look at the end result, because the end result is pretty unrealistic as things stand. So you got to take it one ball at a time. You can't look too far ahead. You know, it's basically we've just got the series to lose, and if we manage to draw the game or even get close to that score, that's already a victory for us in its own respect. Yeah, so going forward, it's just take one ball at a time. That's basically how we've tried to approach this particular innings, especially in the beginning, and we actually found that with a partnership and a little bit of panic, the Sri Lankan bowlers do go a little bit defensive, and as bad as you can actually bat out there, but there is the one ball that's got your name on it, and so you got to try your utmost to try and keep that ball out, and yeah, hopefully you get a lot of luck on your side, which you haven't really had throughout the series, and yeah, and just wish for the best, I guess. I think they've capitalised on their starts that they've had. I think most of their batters have got in and really made us pay. Especially the two openers, they've obviously had the best of the batting conditions, I'd say, and obviously they're quite used to the conditions that we're playing in. So I'd like to think they've capitalised on their good starts that they've had. And as batting has shown, once you get in here, you can actually capitalise on a good start that you've had. But saying that, they've always been very much ahead of the game. They've been ahead of the series, and when momentum's on your side, it does make cricket look a lot easier. At times it made us look a little bit amateur-y, and made them look a lot far superior side in these conditions, which we're very mindful of. So yeah, I do think that their starts have been a lot better than what ours have been. Definitely. The thing is, he didn't want to stop bowling. I was supposed to come on from his end, and he said no, he's carrying on bowling. I think they're going to change one of the ends here to the Keshav Maharaj stand, because he's cleaned up here. So I really wanted to bowl, and you got to give your specialist spinner the first rights. If he wants to carry on bowling, then so be it. So yeah, it's not the fact that I didn't want to bowl, it's the fact that he told me I'm not going to bowl because he wants to bowl all day. So that's the kind of guy he is, and that's another positive obviously that I alluded to earlier. Sure, I think that could definitely assist us with regards to preparation, but it's always easier said than done because of a timing aspect. There's so much cricket going on lately that I know our management and coaches, they obviously struggle for a lot of scheduling, and as a player you got no control over that. But yeah, I would say that would assist us if there is enough and sufficient time leading up to the series. if you spend more time in conditions, you would get a lot more accustomed to what you're going to face. So yeah, we do know practice facilities were totally opposite to what we got, and I guess that's just the challenges that you have to face of playing away from home. You can't control those things, and as professional guys, you need to find a way to deal with it. I don't want to say that toss obviously determines the series or the game, but I think it would have played quite a big role. I do think if we managed to bat first in one of the tests, it would have been a different encounter. I think we would have had the best of the batting conditions, particularly. So yeah, but that's also not an excuse. It's not gonna rub out the fact that we've let ourselves down with a bat. Our bowlers have been brilliant throughout the series, and unfortunately they bowled a lot more overs than what they were supposed to bowl. But I'm not going to sit here and say the toss definitely has determined the outcome. But I do think if we had maybe one game where we were able to bat in the best batting conditions, it might have been a different outcome. I think it's been a learning curve for all our coaches coming here now, because I think Sri Lanka's outsmarted us with regards to playing a little bit more street smart kind of cricket, totally cricket that we're not used to, not accustomed to playing. If I use an example, our tour match that we played, our 2-day warm-up game, all we faced as a top order was just seamers, and I didn't face one ball of seam in this whole test series, so that's pretty street smart if I'd say. They gave us a flat wicket which didn't turn. It's pretty street smart. So I mean, the series starts already before the first ball's bowled. The wickets we have are brilliant. They're almost like a one-day wicket, and it gives the batters a lot of confidence because you just smashing everything around the park. And all we faced was spin on pretty dusty wickets. So that's all pretty street smart cricket, I'd say. That's also the mental aspect as a player that you have to deal with, and you need to find a way to obviously deal with that. So yeah, in that sense, I would say, particularly building up to the series, it was obviously that.